Hi, everybody. Today we have Zeta Smith. She's CEO of Sodexo Seniors for North America, and she started her job right at the beginning of the pandemic. So welcome, Zeta. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
And
What an interesting time to start a new job with a new company.
right, because starting a new job at any time is hard because
Yes.
you're learning the company and how things work, but then to have this, and especially in the field of senior dining, where this was a population that was and continues to be so vulnerable for coronavirus. So take us back to like when this all, you starting your new job and then a twist came upon.
Yeah. So I started with Sodexo in January, and I was onboarding January and February. I went live the beginning of March and right into the pandemic lockdown. And it was an interesting time because I had only met a few clients. I had really just met my team. And so kind of quickly trying to create awareness for me as their leader through this, and certainly introducing myself with clients. I think ironically though, because you're in crisis mode, everything moves much faster. So it
Okay.
actually gave me an opportunity to meet more people in faster time period, and really to kind of galvanize the team in short order around a common problem. So I feel like I've actually learned a lot more about the company, about the company's processes, and certainly with my team because we had just increased communication and problem solving. So I think my learning has accelerated. There's still plenty to learn though.
Mm-hmm. That is a good silver lining though, where it's because in a time of crisis, it does kind of break down like whatever silos any organization may have. And it's like, hey, we have to figure this out.
Yeah.
So what was kind of how did you communicate with people? I guess, was it mostly Zoom calls like this? Like, and we were talking earlier, like everybody's kind of had to get used to this.
Yeah, it's the new virtual world, right?
Right.
And when we first began, I said to the team that it was really important that we are on camera as opposed to just calling in. So you have kind of the physical interaction with your team,
Right. You're
right?
putting a face to a name for
Exactly. And you
sure.
can see the nonverbal cues and have a conversation as best you can without physically getting together. But we had daily calls for 8 weeks in a row. So
Oh,
you
wow.
quickly
Mm-hmm.
become, accustomed to, working as a team, solving problems as a team. So I think that platform and the frequency of it really created a great team dynamic for productive problem solving. But I think the biggest piece for me during this time was communication. Communication with my direct team, communication with the clients, communication with the field team. So in the staff and employees that work in our senior communities across the country, people needed to hear what was going on, what we knew, what we were trying to find out,
Yeah.
problems we were solving. So communication really was key during this time.
That's such a good thing. And let's get into what was being communicated. What were the different and your role in that kind of like how did you start planning? How did you shift things around? Because nursing homes pretty much had to be locked down. Things were so different. I mean, I think it's one of our segments that was like absolutely had such a big effect.
Yeah, safety is top priority at
Yeah.
Sodexo, so safety became my top priority. And during that time, it was about PPE, so
Okay.
personal protective equipment,
Right.
sourcing it, what were the safety protocols within these communities so that we could keep everyone safe and,
Right.
and reduce any type of spreading of infection. And so through that, that was the majority of the communication of how we were sourcing the materials, what were the protocols, making sure that general managers in these communities were having daily, we call them stand-ups, to kind of
Okay, yeah, I've
talk
heard of
about,
those before, which
yeah,
traditionally it's a physical meeting where everyone is that what they call it, a
yes,
stand-up? Because it's not stand-up comedy, I don't think.
no,
They're
there was
standing
no
up around in
comedy,
the kitchen.
no comedy involved, but
No.
it's a quick gathering
Yeah.
of your team for that
Okay.
shift
Yeah, because
to
I've
talk
heard that in
about,
this industry before. Yeah.
yeah, to talk about what is
Uh-huh.
what is important for that shift, but also the food that's going to be served, the proper way to serve food. And a lot of the food service was actually starting to change. So now we closed the communal dining rooms.
Right,
Now
right.
we're transitioning to delivery. Now
Yeah.
we're putting the food into disposable, containers, and then we're actually delivering meals to the floors. And
Mhm.
if it's independent living, we're delivering them literally home to home, door to door. So a lot evolved quickly. I mean, within
Mhm.
a week or two, that we had to figure out how to best serve the residents that were in need. But PPE and safety were the biggest
Yeah,
and most important part during that time,
that was a
and
priority.
still is safety.
For sure, for sure. And I've definitely covered senior dining for a while, and one of sort of like the signatures of senior dining that's been taken away is the fact that they can gather and be communal and eat in a dining room. And that is like sometimes the only part of their day where they're going out
Yes.
and they're doing something. So this stinks, right? I mean, what
Oh,
it's like, I guess there's really no, it's what are we going to do? You know?
no, it's been a tough time. I mean,
Mhm.
for resident isolation, for their safety, and it's
Yeah.
part of what needed to happen. But I will tell you, I was so impressed and inspired by the staff being able to figure out ways to socialize while delivering the meals. So whether it's notes on a tray,
Mhm.
whether it's baking cookies with the resident's name on them,
Oh yeah.
whether it's going door to door, there was like a Margarita Wednesday,
Nice.
but things to just socialize
Yeah.
during that time, it really, really makes a difference. There's a community in California, and the staff went outside, and the residents were all on their balconies, and they just did a dance number.
Nice.
Just again, just entertainment, trying to figure out ways to engage the seniors during this time. I do think technology also has been leveraged. So we have very talented executive chefs and cooks around the country in these communities, and they actually did recordings of how to make an apple pie, how to make
Nice.
a particular meal, and they could use that virtual video to help them make their meals in their own homes, in
Very
their
cool.
living space. So between technology and
Yeah.
I think just being innovative and creative with the residents has helped.
I think that we've just seen the fact during all this that it is the little things that make a
It
difference.
is.
And I think everybody's going to appreciate those little things a little bit more.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I have to tell you, and I need to tell this story because it literally gave me goosebumps. There was a couple, they were celebrating their 68th wedding anniversary.
Oh, how can that be done? I
I
don't know.
know,
What in the world?
I know. And the husband was in skilled nursing, and in skilled nursing, very compromised, and needs, significant assistance.
Yeah.
And the wife was in independent living.
Okay.
And because they were in different sections, they were not able to have meals together. So for their anniversary, the staff brought them together, bought this plexiglass wall, decorated it, and sat them across from each other so that they could enjoy a meal together for their anniversary. I mean, it's those types of things. It's not in a rule book, or
Yeah.
someone didn't have to say, you know what, you should do that. I mean, these creative ideas come from the staff.
Yeah, that's how you know you have good people when they, I mean, it's like, that's awesome. That does. I give
Exactly.
you
And they feel
goosebumps too.
empowered.
That's so
Yes. And
sweet. Yeah.
they feel empowered to do so,
Right.
it makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's, you have a little bit of that leeway to do something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And I wanted to kind of ask the role that you're in now, how is it different and how is it similar to what you had been doing at Starbucks?
Yeah, I mean, I worked for Starbucks for 12 years, and majority of that time was in operations, in corporate stores. So it was basically a B2C environment where it was about the ultimate customer.
Right.
Within Sodexo, it is still about the ultimate customer, but you also are first line to the client first, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what the clients, are in need. But I
Right.
think what I learned mostly from Starbucks, their mission statement really is about being a servant leader. And I brought that here to Sodexo, which, at the time that we're in with a pandemic and the uncertainty, people want an empathetic leader. They want to feel empowered. They want to feel heard,
Mm-hmm.
and listened to. And I think that culture of Starbucks, to me, is something I learned through that mission statement that I was able to bring to Sodexo as well.
Very cool. I definitely like the sound of that, of serving people, because that
Yes.
certainly is like what, and not just in the food service industry. Like it's good. It's sort of like work. It's like you're providing a service for someone, and then
Yes. Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Side note, I saw somewhere that Starbucks now has vitamins in their coffee. They're adding like B12 vitamins to the coffee.
Not hear that.
Yeah, I just saw it, right? I don't know. I'm not even sure if it's true or not, but I just saw like a headline. I didn't read the story, but that sounds like really tempting for me. It's like, oh, because I love coffee so much anyway. Are you a big coffee drinker too?
Interestingly enough, I love coffee, but I'm a decaf drinker. So I'm
Oh,
not as exciting with my drink choices as most people.
that's
But I, I
interesting.
do I do enjoy a good cup of coffee for sure.
Yeah, I need it on the other hand, and I wish it
Yeah.
wasn't that way. Like I don't know how I got to this point, but I can't without, like I can't wake up without it. So that's
No,
kind of,
I think you're not alone.
yeah, no, it's true. It certainly is something, and it's not bad for you. But what else did I want to ask? And just kind of, I wanted to get your perspective on just staying motivated during all this, and like in turn, like helping your team to feel that same motivation.
Yeah, I think I answered a bit of that by just sharing how special and how creative the employees have been.
Yeah,
That's motivating enough for me. The creativity level, the levels in which they will go to make sure that these seniors feel cared for.
yeah,
For me personally, I just feel a sense of responsibility, leading this fantastic and talented team. That's motivation. But quite frankly, we're just getting started.
yeah,
And there's still plenty to do. And what excites me and motivates me is what's possible, what we're going to look like, in 2 weeks, in 2 months, and in 2 years. We're just getting started. And I think we've learned a lot through, this pandemic, of how we work well as a team, how we can leverage empowered employees to do the right thing for our seniors and our clients. So that's exciting to
yeah.
me.
I definitely like the positivity of that so much,
Yes.
very much
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, we are short on time here, but we are definitely going to stay in touch with you for sure, Zeta. I
Thank you, Tara.
definitely appreciate you coming here, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. We thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
so absolutely, let's stay in touch, and we will have you back soon, hopefully.
Will do. Thank you, Tara.